Hello, everybody. I don't know if anybody remembers, but this summer I got rid of my skylights. I put a new roof on this addition of my house. I didn't like the skylights, so I took them out and sheeted right over them, and then re-roofed the whole house, or whole that part of the roof. So that's what I ended up with on the inside, and I had to find some way to turn them into something else. I thought about trying to patch that hole in both the rooms. I got three skylights I took out, but I just knew I'd always see that patch. So I decided to try to turn it into lights. So this is what I ended up turning it into. I think it was the right idea. It was a lot of work. I had to do a lot of little inventing. And while I was at it, I decided to put LEDs in there for a couple of reasons. I was going to use LED bulbs because they don't make any heat, and there's not a lot of room there to bake, put in a box and a receptacle. And I didn't want to take a chance of any fire or anything. Plus, I wanted to have at least a 4-inch air gap up there for insulation. So I decided to use LEDs. And then when I started thinking about the LEDs, I ran across ones that you could program and change the colors. So I'm going to turn off these regular lights over here and turn this on, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So now I'm going to turn these on. Okay, so now as you can see, I changed the left one here to red, this one to blue. That makes quite a difference. That's kind of odd. There we are. And now we have violet colored. As I stated before, I'm going to take the power from here, run it into here. So that means I'm going to have to drop this down so I can get to the wires. But before I do anything else, I'm going to go to the breaker. I'm going to leave this light on and turn off the breaker that I think goes to it. And make sure the light goes out before I get into the wiring, okay? If you got to have an outlet or something, and basically if you can't see it and you're working by yourself, hook something up to it loud, like a vacuum cleaner or something, let it run, and then go turn off the breaker. But if you got help, all you got to do is ask them to go tell you if it's off, like a light or something. I know which one it is. I've got these marked. But if you're in your house you don't have them marked, then you're gonna have to do it this way. So I'm pretty sure it's this breaker right here. Just to make sure, I happen to be in line where I can see that room. Here, I'm going to turn it off. I wonder why my feet hurt at night. Okay, this is what we've got here. This is what I see. Now you see all the little holes in the back of that hunk of metal, that metal box. I see some that doesn't have anything behind it. And that kind of makes sense. That tells me that there's a void. Oops. There's a void right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here about here and try to drill a hole and get a wire from there. Yeah, I know I'm moving around, but I'm trying to balance myself. But first I gotta get one of these punch outs. See that little metal punch out right there? I'm hoping there's a void under that. That would be the easiest way to go. So I'm going to try to get that out of there without destroying everything. You don't want to beat on these boxes too hard, because sometimes they're just on there with a little flimsy piece of metal. They're not really made to hold a lot. This one doesn't have any screws going up through the base that I can see. So that tells me it's probably attached to some kind of metal little side plate. Alright, here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to try to get this out of here. This right here. Yeah. That thing right there. And I can't get my screwdriver under there, and I don't want to beat on it. So what I'm going to do is take a real tiny drill bit and try to drill in on the center so I can get a ice pick or something and pop that out. Alright, can you see that? I drilled a little hole right inside of that, and since the drill bit was going around and around clockwise, once it goes through it kind of pries it up. So now it's a matter of taking my pliers and bending it out of there. And hopefully there'll be a void back there. If not, then I got to do something else. And look at there. Look what I just found. There's no void. Oh no. Now what? Now you see there? The wires are on my way. I'm going to push this wire, a hanger. I'm going to kind of mark it with my finger. See, it looks like it goes all the way to that. It's probably a 2x10. Remember, this is the ceiling rafters I'm messing with here. Over there. So all I'm going to have to do is drill so I can run the wire right to that hole. So we're getting somewhere. I don't know where, but we're getting somewhere. Alright, now I turn my ladder around and I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to put my switch box, or my electrical box, centered between here and here, right down in here somewhere. I don't want to just have this, the only thing between me and the outside world, a piece of sheathing. So what I plan on doing, since I'm kind of crimped for room here to put a light in, I bought myself some of this rigid styrofoam insulation. I believe it's 1/2 inch thick. It's going to go right here, and I want to box this in. Remember, it's just insulation. I'm going to just attach it to this right here in the center, and then I'm going to caulk around it. I'm not trying to make it waterproof. I'm trying to make it somewhat airproof. You'll never make it airproof, but it'll be closer. Right now I can tell the big difference just between here and here. Between here and here. I mean, this house has got a lot of insulation because they're using these 2x10s for, and it's packed full of insulation. And then I'm going to do that first and get that caulk so the caulk has time to dry before I get up in here and try to put a lens and stuff in it. And get this all boxed in. And then I'm going to drill a hole. I know that it's hollow from here to about here. I want the box here. So first I'm going to see if I can mount the box and drill right through the box and bring the wire right straight out. That would be ideal. Then I wouldn't have anything showing. But if not, I can always come over here to get inside here to get the wire. I mean, it's just a short wire. This is the last one I did. I didn't do this one first because I figured it would be the easiest. So then I would have to do it with, I'm going to do it with this camera because I have some idea what I'm going to do. The first one I did, I had no idea. So I just had to kind of invent it as I went. So I'm going to measure this and cut myself that styrofoam, stick it up in here, and attach it with some little tiny nails, aluminum nails, so they don't rust. I mean, it's just holding up a piece of styrofoam, and get it caulked. Then I'll show you what I did. Okay, if I told you that didn't surprise me, I'd be lying. These measurements are all exactly the same, end and length and width. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. So I'm going to go cut a piece of styrofoam, 21¼ inches wide, 45 7/8 long, and then I'm going to cut that piece of styrofoam in two so I can put it up in there in two pieces. It's just much easier to handle with two pieces. If you try to get all the corners, you'll break it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be back. Okay, so I got the styrofoam in there, caulked all the little seams. They're drying as we speak. While I'm waiting on that, I'm going to put this box in and then see if I can drill through there. Feels like there is. Keep missing it. I feel it. I'm on the edge right there, baby. Look at that. A little bit of insulation came out, but not too bad. So there we go. Look at the back of this thing. This is what the LED is going to screw into. If you look inside there, you see a gold contact right there. That should be your black wire, should go to that, and your white wire should go to this part. So when you're screwing it in, if you happen to touch this, you know, when you're trying to get the bulb out, or say the bulb breaks and you're trying to pry it out, as long as you don't touch this or something inside the bulb, you're safe. This is the white wire. This should be your negative. We'll set this little meter up to let's see, where am I at? To read in ohms. Okay. Take these leads off. If you can see the meter, I'll push it together. It shows contact. Okay. Now watch. Okay, I'm gonna put it on this center part right here. And I'm going to put it on this gold. Notice there's two different colors. Gold. And now we got contact. That's your hot wire. Put it on here, put it on the middle. We got nothing. But put it on the side, we got contact. See it? Point is, the gold, put your hot lead on the gold, the black lead. White is cool. Okay. Yeah. And then the that third wire, the ground wire, that really has the same potential as your white wire. It's like when you say ground, they mean ground. They have like a copper, piece of copper pounded into the ground deep enough that there's still moisture, so that it'll actually give you a good ground, because your body is considered a ground also. The power is between here and ground, here and ground. This is what you got to be careful with. Black wire goes on gold. Black gold. Black gold. like this. All right. You always want your power down inside there. It's the hardest it is for you to get shocked. You'd have to put your hand in there like that, or like this, and then it would go right through your finger and burn the crap out of you. You never want this threaded part. You never want this threaded part. You wouldn't want the black line on here, because then if you just touched it, choo. Okay? Okay. This part's not going to show. As you can see, once I nail this up, that doesn't lay down on top of the board or the trim. I want it to lay down on the trim. So you just take your hand and manipulate it, bend it a little bit so that it sits in there. Okay, so this side, remember, it's nailed. This side will just sit in there. Once I get the plastic cut, then I'll just put the plastic up in there and slide this up underneath it. It'll fall down on top of here. This can't go anywhere. This one will be held in there with the plastic. So that's the plan. Worked on 2 of them and ought to work on the 3rd one. Alright, here's my plastic. I think I showed you what it was. Duralens. And this one is called Cracked Ice White. The first 2 I did just cracked ice because I wanted the LED to shine through real nice. But this now I'm going to use this tool. You can see the blade. The first little ways it really actually saws it, but once it gets hot, then it just sort of melts it. So you have to kind of go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to start in about just a little ways in so that the end doesn't flop around. There you go.